Hello there, my name is Lucas, again here for the research page, and today here with a little tutorial on this software called DaVinci Resolve. So in my humble opinion, DaVinci is one of the best color grading application there is on the market, and also the light version is completely free, which is a great starting point for us to use in this contest. So many people struggle with DaVinci Resolve at first because it's a bit different from other programs that you might have used, and actually getting your footage or your whole project, your edited project into DaVinci is not the easiest thing, or let's say not very intuitive. So that's why I wanted to tell you in this video how we get our whole project, our edited project, into DaVinci Resolve so we can grade it there. And you might excuse that this is not the most interesting, not most awesome video, because it's about a thing called conforming, which is a bit boring, but it's very helpful and a very cool thing to know, of course, for DaVinci. And with this little video, maybe you have the ambitions to maybe try it out one time. And I think I talked already enough. Let's hop in and see how we get things into DaVinci Resolve.
Our journey starts here in Premiere Pro, and I have a timeline here from a little short film. And as you can see, this edit is a bit of a mess. So first, before we go to DaVinci, we want to clean this up a bit. But at first, let me tell you, we wanted to explore two ways how to get stuff into DaVinci, and they're a bit different. So yeah, let's get started for now. So basically what I do first before I go to DaVinci, I make a copy of the sequence. So we have not touched the original one if we mess up something in the edit, for example. Maybe you're not the editor, maybe you are only the grading artist and want to bring this for the grading, so always make a copy anyway. So I will just quickly rename this. And this is the sequence that we work in. So basically what I want to do is I want to reduce this sequence to as few tracks as possible. And my way to do this is just select the clips and drag them down. What we have to look for, of course, is something like this. Here's a clip which has its opacity down to 0. So we delete this one so we don't kill out the clip that we actually wanted to use. So be careful with this. So now let's get this little clip also down. It's not the best way, maybe there's a better way, but I don't know of any, so I will do it like this. So this is our timeline now, and basically now we are done in Premiere. Just for the heck of it, I want to add a little dissolve to this timeline. I added it right here. This is to show you something later. You will remember it then, hopefully. So we set this to this 2-second dissolve. Makes no sense in this case, but let's do it anyway. So now for the first way that I want to do, and this is the better way in my opinion, we want to export an XML file and a reference file. So basically what we want to do is we go to export Final Cut Pro XML. We have to save the project, which is fine. And then I just want in the root of this project, in the root folder, I want to save this XML file. So I save it. Yeah, I want to replace it because I did this before, as you might have seen. So and what we also want to export is a little reference clip. So we get just a reference clip. This is only for reference video, so we can check in DaVinci if everything is fine. So basically what I like to do is I use the from Adobe Media Encoder, the YouTube preset for 720p footage, which is around 5 Mbit, I think. No, this is not 5 Mbit, so maybe we'll set it to 5 Mbit because it's totally fine. We just want to make it like this. And now we export this. We want to save this, not there. We don't want to save this also in the root, and we call this like the timeline, but with a ref hint on the end, so we know it's the reference file. So now let's click export, and the next step would be DaVinci. But for now, let me show you the second thing. If we want to do the second way, what we have to do then. So now for the second way to go into DaVinci, we will only export a movie clip. So basically what we want to do then is grade on the full range movie clip and not the edit itself. Basically, this is not the best way to do this. However, I want to show you how you can do this if your editor, for example, isn't capable of exporting XML files. Basically, what I want to do is I have this selected, this timeline again, hit export and then media. And this time I wanted to go with another format, of course. In this case, I will choose QuickTime, and then I use my preset for DNxHD 185X, which basically is nothing else than just the normal DNxHD 185 mbit 10-bit version of DNxHD, because this is also the source material for this film. And yeah, I want to check this to have the best possible quality, of course, or a better quality than an MP4 would offer me. And now we export it again, call this full edit, place it next to the ref file that we created. This is not a ref file, but anyways, call this and export this. And now finally we will head to into Resolve. So yeah, now we are here in the loading screen of DaVinci Resolve 11, which I will use in this tutorial. It's brand new actually, and it's a pretty cool program, so we will use the 11, not the 10 version. Of course, I have a user with my name on and my very pretty face on the screen. However, I have already set up everything correctly for myself, so I just want to go through the procedure of creating a new project. So I will choose the admin for now, the admin user here. And now you can see we have an untitled project, which is basically only the default project. What I want to do now is hit the plus down here, call this TRP test. I already typed this, magic. And now he is a bit, you know, the problem is I have a external disk which isn't connected right now. This is why he bothers me. And now we can see here the TRP test thing is here, and we can see it's 9020 by 1080 and 4024p, and we will change this in a second. So first we have to set up the project, and what I want to do, of course, is set this to 25p because I'm a 25p user. If you're working in 24p, of course, leave it like that. And I will change this here everywhere. So this looks fine to me now. What I like to do is I like to deactivate this. This is only interesting if you render proxy files, but I still do this out of... I always do this. So let's look a bit around here. No, I think maybe this, down in this menu we can also set it to 25. But this is not really important in this case. So let's hit apply. Okay, it's still because the disk is not connected, and hit cancel. Now we have a project set up. Another thing that we have to do when we start DaVinci the first time is to go into the DaVinci preferences and select scratch disks. We are only capable to import media which is on these hard drives that I specified here, that you can also see on the bottom left corner. We can of course hit plus and add different volumes if we like. What you shouldn't do is you should not only set certain folders, only the whole disk, because this can give issues later. So we'll leave it like that. If you changed anything here, you have to restart DaVinci, which is what she tells me now. So basically what I want to do is I would just leave it like that, because I know I don't have to restart because I didn't change anything of value. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to talk about the first way of importing stuff here in DaVinci. So now we are here, and yeah, we go to this folder, and the first thing we want to do is we have the full edit here, and I will just make a new folder down here. This is our media pool, by the way. I have a new folder called this full edit, and we import the full edit as a normal clip, and then we will make a new folder ref where only our references get in, and we don't want to just drag it down here because this won't work. We just hit right click and set add as offline reference clip. So I will show you in a second why we do this. And then we have the master, and now I want to add another folder, and we call this footage, because now we want to import every clip that we ever shot for this project. I could of course only import the clips we need, but I want to import simply everything, which is all this. This makes things so much easier. So basically I just use the folder video, drag it down here, and then we wait. a second because it's much footage. It's like, don't know, 400 to 600 gigabytes. So now we're here, and as you can see, we have many clips down here. Let's see, there's a list. Many clips. And this is basically more or less the whole project that we shot here in DaVinci. And now let the magic begin. So we have imported everything we need, so we want to hit save. And as I said before, this hard disk is terribly slow, so this takes a while. I should definitely buy a new one. However, I usually don't work on this project, so this is why it is a bit strange right now. Anyways, so here in the other page we can see we have nothing coming around, so basically we have no timeline and nothing to work with. So what we want to do now is here where it stands no timeline, we want to right click and import AAF EDL XML. And we have to navigate to the location of our XML, which is down right here. So let's double click this. And then we get into this dialog. Now, when you export from Premiere, it will export every timeline that we have in the project. So basically, we have to choose which timeline to import. And we, of course, want to use the therapy timeline. We can rename it here. And automatically set project settings, clicks nice. It sounds nice, so we use that. Automatically import source clips into media pool. Deactivate this, because this never works. This is for consolidated AAFs, and this does not work with this kind of XML, so just deactivate it because we already imported everything that we needed to. So your setting information sounds nice, and set timeline resolution also sounds nice, so let's hit OK. And here we only say where you can search for footage, and we say OK. And there you have it. Your whole edit is now in DaVinci. Isn't it nice? Even here, you can see this, I messed up in Premiere. I noticed this before, so we have this little gap here that I didn't saw right. And also we have this dissolve here that we added. I just added this to show you that we can also import dissolves this way, which is nice, isn't it? So basically, we never trust any automatic system. We never should. So we want to check if everything is right. So we right-click the timeline and set link offline reference clip to the ref that we imported. Now, in this window, it's important that we hit the offline button. This is the offline button, so we see the offline reference. And as you can see here, we have an issue. And I don't know really why this happens. This is a problem related to timecode, and as you can see, if I skip to the next frame, we get into the right scene. So there's an offset of exactly 1 frame. So basically what we can do now is set here to -1 the reference, and now it's not working, or have I set it to +1? Sorry, it's +1. So, and now we can see the edit. So we check if everything is right. It still doesn't work right. I set it to 2. Sorry. So now when we get to any edit, we can set with the up and down arrows, we can skip to the next clip. So because of this, I will just delete the audio for now. So we only have the video. And now you can see with the up and down arrows I can jump to the next cut, and simply with the left and right arrows I can check if everything is right. So that the first image and the last image of the last scene are synced. And this works pretty nice, doesn't it? So basically we already have our edit into DaVinci, and now we can start grading. Obviously we have to do the grading in the color page, so we click the color page and now we get to the grading. So basically up here we have some sort of timeline where we can see our clips in term of time, how long they are. And down here we can select individual clips and switch through them really quickly and see what we want to grade. And down here we have a third timeline for keyframes and stuff. And I don't want to show you how to grade right now because this is a pretty bit far-fetched for now. So let's just complete the round trip that I did here. So let's pretend I did some grading. For this I will just go to the lookup tables and set 3D output lookup table to some Fuji stuff I have installed. Yeah, I know. These has really hard feelings because of the hard drive. So is it already set? I don't know for sure. Sorry, I have to check this again. Maybe we just use something different. We use something like I just want to have something that you can really see that we changed something. Maybe something like this, which is not even meant for the Blackmagic camera. Anyways, you can see now we have some sort of grade on the footage, even if it doesn't look very decent. Anyways, we want to do the export now, so you know how to get your stuff back into your editor to make sound and stuff. So basically we go to not basic, not intermediate, we go to advanced, and we use the easy setup, because when we choose the easy setup we get an XML. So we choose Final Cut Pro XML round trip. Automatically we set the option that we only want to export the individual source clips. This is important. Then we choose the codec. I use the NXHD 1080p 185, again 10-bit. And he already does everything as it should. For the video data level, I would always choose a data level. If you don't go broadcast, do the data level, so you don't waste your blacks and your whites in the legal range. Export audio, we could do this. I wouldn't do anything audio related in DaVinci anyway, so we'll just deactivate it. Also automatically set is use source file name, which is fine. And we also want, this is very important, to check render unique file names, because for example this clip down here and this clip down here are the same clip, just in different points in time. And if I only didn't set this option, he would only render this one, then he would render this one with the same name as this one. So basically this clip would override this clip. So we want to then render a unique file name and use unique file name prefix. You can also make a suffix, I like the prefix. Then we render to, I set it again to do this location of the project, hit OK. And I can automatically create a subfolder, and we call this TRP render. Then I want to render at maximum speed, of course. And then I can add frame handles. Basically this renders the clip longer than it actually should be, or has to be, depending on the edit. So you can maybe do frame cuts again, or you can shove the borders a bit around. I just will leave this off for now, and everything else will just stay the same. We could create an additional output, which is basically, for example, if you want to export in QuickTime again, or in MXF, or in AVI, or whatever, you can also export an additional LTPX sequence if you like. I don't want to do this right now. So before we hit add to render, add job to render check, always make sure that you select everything that you want to render actually. So basically what we want to do now is right click here and hit select all. So we render the whole sequence, and then we add job to render check, and then we hit render, and then we will see how to do this in Premiere later. We are back in Premiere to re-import the edits or the grading that we did in DaVinci. So basically what I have here now is I have this little XML file from DaVinci. It's a bit messed up from the name wise, but you can also rename it, for example. Now we just want to drag it here into the Premiere Pro. And yeah, there it is. Now we have the folder called like the XML file, and now we have a sequence which is exactly called like this one, but with Resolve in parentheses. So now let's double click this. And of course we have no audio because we deleted everything. We could just simply copy the audio from here. Anyways, as you can see here now, we again have the whole edit back in Premiere. We have the little gap, and we have the cross dissolve, which is still 2 seconds long as I said it. And we have the grading applied, which is basically only a lot, but this doesn't matter in this case because we basically have fully rigged our film back from Premiere. We went to DaVinci and back to Premiere and can still edit things, which is pretty neat. And if we edit handles, we could, for example, ripple around the corners here, but we didn't do that, so that's fine. Anyways, that's it. So yeah. Now let's take a look how we can do it on the second way to add when we have this file already merged, already baked into one big file. So now let's get to the edit pitch again, and on the timelines panel we hit right click, create new timeline. We call this one TRP full edit, and we want to create an empty timeline. Say create new timeline. Go to the media pool page, into the full edit folder, and just drag in the full edit. We can see now this is baked, and in the color page you can see we would have to grade the whole clip as a whole, the whole sequence. I mean, the whole. This is terrible. So what we want to do now, what we could do is, for example, we could manually go through this, through every edit that we can see, and now use the razor tool. And as you can imagine, this would work. As you can see here, now we have 2 clips. But this would be the biggest hassle you can imagine. So what we can do about this, because DaVinci has a nice feature here. So basically what we want to do now is we go back to the media page, and now here we go to the onto the library, not to the media pool. We cannot access this from there. We have to import it like this. So right click, scene cut detection. And now we can let DaVinci analyze the film, the clip, for the edits. As you can see now, he automatically makes clips when we just hit start, and now he does this. So let's let him do his thing, seeing where we have edits. And of course I will come to the downsides of this method in just a second. As you can imagine, there are some downsides to this. So now let's get through here. Now we can see if we actually got all the edits, and this is the problem that I wanted to show you. Now we have this dissolve here, and of course this does not work with the dissolve. Even if we add it manually and add it right here, we would grade them as 2 clips, so there would be no dissolve between the clips. So with this method, dissolves are a no-go, so don't use dissolves in this case. But other from that, if we can see here, it managed to see the edits pretty good. So it thought here is an edit, and this is just right. Here's the little gap that I left. Here's an edit, here's an edit. Doesn't seem too bad, does it? So basically, we can actually have a good scene detection with DaVinci Resolve 2. Of course, not with dissolves. So let's add it like this. Add cuts to media pool. Now in our folder we have the whole edit that we had before. Let's maybe go to the edit page again. Go to timelines. We have this timeline for the full edit. Let's just delete it. Go to media pool. Have it as a list to show us. And then maybe it should work when we just took all the clips, dragged it in here. And yeah, you can see how now we get the edit into a timeline again. Nearly lossless, except for this dissolve here. And we can go to the color page and now have the individual clips to grade, to work with. Pretty cool thing. Not perfect, but works pretty good. Now in the deliver page, the delivery could be a bit different. Of course you don't have to export individual source clips again, because you don't have a big gain from this, because you don't have more information between the clips. So basically what we can do is just export a single clip, set this to the codec that is desired, to the frame rate that is desired, again data levels. We don't want a data burn in. Export audio. Again, don't do audio in DaVinci, just for reference, never for anything else. Your source file name is fine. You can do this here, for example, full edit. Render unique file names is fine, we could rename it afterwards if we like. And then add job to render check and just render it out. And then we have the full edit again, and could work from wherever we want, again with a baked clip. So as you can see, this is a way to do it in DaVinci. Even if your editor isn't capable of XML, I mean, you could do this. You could still be able to grade your film on a clip-by-clip basis in DaVinci pretty easily. even if you cannot afford an editor with XML support. So this is the reason why we might use this if you can use the XML support. So I hope this was helpful to you. I know this is not the most awesome tutorial and it's a bit boring, I know that. And I hope that anyone actually is hearing me saying these words that this is boring, because I'm afraid that many people already switched off before. Anyways, I hope this helped you a bit learning about how to use DaVinci and how to use the media page and stuff like that. Of course, it's not in-depth, but it's some sort of the necessary evil to learn DaVinci, a bit how this works. And I think DaVinci can be a bit scary, so hopefully this helped you a bit. And in the next tutorial about DaVinci, we will get a bit more into the color things that we can do with DaVinci, which is hopefully a bit more fun. So thanks for watching again, and have a nice day, and hopefully see you later. And good luck with the TRP MOI challenge. See you later.